Use green onions to harvest green onions. Have you seen it? At this time, Park Sejun was still working hard in the green onion field, looking at the green onion fields that still have no end in sight. He felt powerless. Park Sejun didn't know it. 2,000 acres of green onions had been planted outside the dungeon, and the sickle rabbit who was harvesting green onions with him was nowhere to be seen. Suddenly there was an exclamation. It came from the green onion field in front. Park Sejun hurriedly stepped forward to check. It turned out that the sickle rabbit had found a green onion that was extremely hard. He and the scissors rabbit couldn't cut it off even if they tried their best. Hearing this, Park Sejun didn't believe what the rabbit said. Eat only one green onion. Why didn't you finish the sentence? Park Sejun was scratched by the green onion. I saw a clear blood mark on his palm. How can this green onion be as hard as iron? Seeing this, he immediately pulled him out of the field. The field was given a strong blade. Green onions have succeeded in creating new varieties in the Black Tower. Black Tower acknowledges that you have exclusive cultivation rights to the new variety. Without your permission, it will not be able to be planted. Sturdy bladed green onions. Sturdy blades. Green onions keep cutting off the leaves of the green onions. A mutation that metallizes leaves in order to protect one's own leaves. Green onions that grow inside the tower. Use all the nutrients in the green onions. The leaves become sharp and hard, so its taste and nutrients will decline. There is no effect when ingested. Cultivator. Hata Farmer Park Sejun. Valid for 90 days. The greatest C. After reading the introduction, Park Sejun was like a treasure. Unexpectedly, a new varietal mutation was obtained. But since ingestion has no effect, proof that its use is not to eat. Screw turns. Park Sejun has found the best use for bladed green onions. Harvesting green onions is also a rare thing in the world. After having this handful of metal green onions, the speed of harvesting is more than twice as fast. That's when it happened. The Black Tower system popped up. Erin, the administrator who has been diving for a long time. She finally showed up. But what makes people wonder is, he actually asked Park Sejun for help. I saw that the system panel kept sliding down water droplets. Irene, the administrator who was strong all her life, actually cried. He actually cried in front of the human Park Sejun. Soon Park Sejun figured out the ins and outs of all this. Because the army of red locusts has invaded the 69th floor. Erin, she doesn't have the ability to handle things properly. Will be so anxious that I cry. Hearing this, the mother rabbit on side was so frightened that she almost fainted. After all, the rabbits who have experienced the invasion of the red locusts. Knowing the horrors of the invaders, Park Sejun then asked the administrator, what kind of monsters are they? So scary. Administrator Erin told Park Sejun, red locusts are devouring everything, and gregarious monsters that evolve as their numbers increase. If it is not resolved in time, all life forms on the 69th floor will be destroyed by them, and then with the waypoint wasted work. The same happens on the other floors. The end result is that the entire Black Tower will be destroyed. Hearing this, Park Sejun also broke out in a cold sweat. Such a powerful monster still lives in groups. Then Erin told Park Sejun, he now has a last resort that he can't solve. An intrusion event that appears on the 69th floor. He now needs Park Sejun's help very urgently. Hearing this, Park Sejun said decisively, so that Erin doesn't have to worry. If there is something he can do, it will never be shirked. After all, this is also his home. If there is an enemy invasion, it must be to destroy the Theo Rabbits together, Flame Bear, and the warriors of Minotaurus. For the safety of the Black Tower, they'll definitely help too. Hearing this, the warrior Black Rabbit was the first to stand up. He told Administrator Erin not to worry about it. Looking at the figure in the crystal ball that is constantly cheering him up, Administrator Erin couldn't help but shed tears of emotion. It turned out that it was not his responsibility to protect the Black Tower alone. But here comes Park Sejun's problem. He couldn't even get down the tower. And how to solve this problem? Suddenly, a hearty voice rang out. It turned out to be Theo, and they were back. But he who came with him. This guest with a hamster-like build. Who is he? Seeing this, Iona the hamster nodded slightly. Immediately, he decisively asked Park Sejun, excuse me, are you Lord Black Dragon? A farmer who can only farm in the Black Tower. It was mistaken for a black dragon. And the identity of the other party is still a little hamster with strong magic power. Park Sejun said after meeting the new guest. He's in chaos now. Immediately, the wandering merchant cat Theo hurriedly explained. Iona admires the black dragon very much. That's why he brought her over. Immediately afterwards, Iona hurriedly made the highest etiquette to Park Sejun. Show respect. Iona, the president of the Wizards Guild, greets Lord Black Dragon. That's what happened. The administrator who has been following this place has spoken. Erin speculates about Iona's intentions. Most likely because of the red and yellow that appears on the 69th floor. A double invasion of the world. In addition, Erin also reminded the president of the Park Sejun Association. It's a high-level monster in the Black Tower. Hearing this, Park Sejun immediately became flustered. Then he told Iona, "I've been waiting for him here for a long time." Immediately after that, Iona was arranged with a green onion cushion and tomato juice. After all, treat first-time guests. You have to be hospitable. Immediately, Park Sejun knowingly asked to test Iona's intentions. But just when Iona opened her mouth to ask for the help of Lord Black Dragon, Park Sejun immediately spoke first. Indicates if it is due to a locust invasion on the 69th floor. Iona, who was still puzzled, immediately became angry. He didn't understand that Lord Black Dragon knew about the enemy's invasion. But why did they do nothing? Just when Park Sejun wanted to find some excuse, Giant Bear and Theo stumbled over. The two of them said in unison, "So hungry." However, on the other side, Iona's heart was turning upside down at this time. Now I'm talking to Lord Black Dragon. It's a matter of survival for the Black Tower. The atmosphere was so joyful. And Iona, she doesn't understand the offspring of a flaming giant bear. Why do you call Lord Black Dragon? For putting on an ultimate wandering businessman. But called the Black Dragon the Elder. Except for black hair. Is common. The man in front of him didn't seem to have anything to do with the Black Dragon. Instead, the faint magic that emanates from all over the body. It's more like a human who recently entered the tower from the first floor, so to speak. Except for Park Sejun. The hat on the top of the head and the saber at the waist have powerful magical powers. The magic contained in her body was completely negligible. Such a man who resembles a human outside the tower. Is it really Lord Black Dragon? Suddenly, Iona felt nothing but shudder. Just because after he drank this basin of red unknown liquid, he felt like his magic was rising. Seeing Adiana's expression, Park Sejun said again and again, "This is a newly developed product. A juice made from a perfect blend of honey and tomato juice." Daddy Bunny on the side. Immediately, the juice ingredient magic tomato was served. Naturally, Iona also recognized Daddy Rabbit as the 55th floor, once a bunny member of the Ribbon Kingdom. It turns out that Lord Black Dragon also took in refugees on the 55th floor. Iona then picked up a punching bag-sized magic tomato and looked at it. It was a produce he had never seen before in the Black Tower. Park Sejun also told the other party. There are also sweet potatoes in their farmland. Carrot, corn and peanuts about to ripen. At this time, the bear and Theo were playing on the side. Caught Iona's attention. There is also a strange scene of a wolf, a cow and 3 gray rabbits having a happy family. Look at their wanton smiles. Iona was in a trance. Adopt a monster with nowhere to go. Plus research and cultivation of new crops. Could it be Lord Black Dragon? Have you been making a layout for a long time to solve the food problem in Haida? Lord Black Dragon emitted a faint aura. It must be so as not to affect the lives of other monsters. Such selfless dedication. Black Dragon-sama who lowered his profile. I was even suspicious. I'm so damned. And where does Park Sejun on the side know? Iona's mental activity. It has completely helped him to resolve the crisis of confidence. Just before he wanted to continue to explain, when asked about how to deal with locust invasions, only to hear Iona's grateful apology. Just listen to the plot. Iona fell to her knees. He expressed his willingness to give his life for the great Black Dragon. It is a green onion katana that can be used to harvest green onions. But he has another magical effect. It is still a secret force that can defend against the army of red locusts. Just because of the hamster. As she apologizes, Iona sees the green onion under Park Sejun's palm. He asked the other party very curiously, "What is this again?" It is known through system probing. It is a crop called blade green onion. Iona immediately showed a very wise look. Eskimos once said, "As long as there is a blood-stained knife, you can easily hunt terrible wolves." The method is very simple. Just put blood on the knife, and repeatedly freeze. Then bury it in the snow. Hungry wolves smell blood. It will continue to lick the blood on the blade. Over time, Lang will have his tongue cut by a sharp blade. In icy weather, they don't realize that their paralyzed tongue is hurt. The above is what Park Sejun learned from textbooks. And Elka, who is air harangue, must take caution. Hearing this, Iona also understood the story told by Park Sejun. The truth is that the normal green onion. It is difficult to distinguish between crops and knife-edged green onions. Once tasted the red locusts of the taste of green onions, we'll definitely continue to look for the next green onion. That way, they'll quickly hit the knife on their own. The red locusts have prey on each other. The habit of individuals who have been eliminated due to the appearance of wounds. Case. Guarding the waypoint on the 69th floor is no longer a difficult task. Suddenly, Ione showed her starry eyes at Park Sejun. Unexpectedly, Lord Black Dragon not only solved the problem of the food shortage of the Black Tower, corresponding weapon protection against the invasion of red locusts has also been developed. Lord Black Dragon, he's really great. Looking at the incoherent Io, Park Sejun was speechless. He knew that an irreparable misunderstanding had been caused in the dark. But soon Park Sejun came to his senses. He knew that everything he had just said was just theory. The specifics have to be practiced before we can draw conclusions. Hearing this, Iona the hamster said, "It's just a minor issue. This thing of knife-blade green onion experiment. Wrap it around him, and you're good to go." I saw Iona with both hands in the air. It was as if an invisible hole had been torn out. He then plunged his scepter directly into the black hole of the void. With the movement of the scepter in his hand, a huge dark magic force was brought out of the black hole. I saw a few red locusts firmly controlled in the dark magic. This scene frightened Park Sejun and others. It was also the first time they had seen each other. Legend has it that it is a red locust that can eat everything. It was originally to study the habits of locusts. Iona made a point of catching some lone locusts. Case. Park Sejun also stood up from the ground. He took over the rest. Immediately, the 2 green onions were soon planted by Park Sejun. Plant back the land on the side. When verifying whether the theory is feasible, it's finally here. According to the command of Park Sejun, Iona undid the magic of his scepter. In an instant, the 5 red locusts were rejuvenated. Then they swooped down on the 2 green onions. Facing crops, they really don't have mercy. The first green onion was eaten 90% in an instant, followed by the eyes of the red locusts fell on another green onion plant on the side. Immediately, 5 monsters pounced on the blade green onion. It was only the moment when the locusts and the bladed green onions came into contact. His body was cut in half. The injuries of the companions did not affect the actions of other members of the same kind. I saw that the 5 locusts rushed towards it. That crop that looks like a delicious green onion. Sejun, he was a genius. The red locusts on the 69th floor. The problem of foreign invasion can be solved. Suddenly, the Black Tower system popped up. Congratulations. The achievement of a great farmer who created the elimination of pests with crops. The bonus, you will gain a class trait. If you catch pests with crops, you will gain experience points. Park Sejun couldn't have imagined it. He can still get the professional achievements of a farmer by mistake. Isn't this locust just a bunch of experience points given for nothing? The screen turns. Came to an office building in Country H. Ding Dong is straight after conquering the 38th floor of the Black Tower. He immediately returned to his teacher. Han Tae-jun, who is cursed by fire, is worthy of being the first person to climb the tower in Country H. I guess JD.com at once. Only other important news is reported. I saw Jing Dong take out a sweet potato from his bag and hand it to Han Tae-jun. Jing Dong told the teacher happily. Han Tae-jun, this was brought back from the Black Tower. A new product that neutralizes the fire curse inside him. All of us are waiting for your return. Congratulations. Gain the status of neutralizing the curse of fire for 5 hours. You can't imagine it at all. The Black Tower. How much magic a hamster can burst out. On the front line of the Locust Invasion campaign on the 67th floor of the Black Tower, the fighters of the various associations are trying to resist the attack of the army of red locusts. Even on the front line, they are extremely powerful fighters. But the number of enemies to face is simply too many. After all, the physical strength will also be exhausted at a moment. It was at this time. A childish voice rang out. All of you stand back for me. I saw a huge fireball, condensed in the staff of Iona, the president of the Sorcerers Guild. It was undoubtedly a tranquilizer for the fighters on the front line. With Iona awake, wave the staff in your hand. A fireball that looked like an atomic bomb slammed down from the sky. The red locust monsters that touched the fireball were all turned to dust. After half a ring, an 800-meter sinkhole appeared on the ground, and the locusts that have turned into a mist of blood. 8 enemies, followed by. Iona couldn't wait to get out of the storage bag, threw out 2 large sacks of knife-edged green onions, and ordered the fighters immediately plant it quickly and in an orderly manner on the land of the front. They deserve to be trained warriors. Even if in doubt, he still obeyed Iona's orders completely, but it's nerve-numbing. Another army of locusts rushed at this time. Seeing this, the 2 soldiers who planted green onions hurriedly got up and ran back. A magical scene occurred. Countless red locusts rushed straight at it. Knife-edged green onions planted on ground, but they were greeted only by the gates to hell. It is the blade of a crop. The smell of green onions is very popular with the locusts. Even if it's like a moth to a fire, they can't resist the instinct of the body. A curious soldier hurriedly asked Iona, "What kind of treasure are those green onions?" Iona grinned and told the fighters, "These green onions are all from the blessing of the Black Dragon." After hearing this, the soldiers were all stunned. They looked at Iona in disbelief. Could this be the bounty bestowed upon their greatest black dragon? I see that the time has come. Iona shouted, "Great warriors, we don't have to be afraid of the ugly invaders anymore. Now we just need to put the fish that slipped through the blade of the green onion. Solve it all, and you're good to go." Hearing this, all the frontline fighters were full of enthusiasm. Under Iona's leadership, all the magicians and warriors were like chickens. Rushed to the red locusts. Screw turned. Come to the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Park Sejun watched as the Black Tower system kept popping up, remind him to know himself. The plan to fight the locusts began to work. However, I don't know if the green onions that Iona brought with me are enough. And the flame bear is now working on the blade green onion with great interest. I saw that his hands continued to exert the power of the wilderness. Exactly, giant bear. The sturdy blade of the green onion was actually split in half. Park Sejun, who saw the scene, was also amused by the bear. I didn't expect the bear to have so much strength. He was able to break the green onions, which were as hard as iron, with the help of the bears. Now he can quickly eradicate the blade of the green onion. A few days ago, Park Sejun and Iona discussed how to resolve the locust event on the 67th floor, and thus reached a deal with a blade of green onion, because it is the reason for the protection of the Black Tower. Park Sejun did not receive any remuneration from Iona. Iona reverently thanked the Black Dragon for the favor. But he knew, just this little amount of bladed green onions, it is impossible to drive away a huge army of locusts. In order to help the performance of the Black Dragon's subordinate wandering merchant cat Theo, Iona decided on future shipping. Make a deal in Theo's name. Because Iona had to stay on the battlefield on the 67th floor for a long time. Command the battle. Once a solid line of defense has been established, there will be no more amplified invasions. Suddenly, Park Sejun was attracted by the movement on the side. The giant bear actually ate the red locust. This is a terrible thing. You must know that locusts are poisonous in their bodies. At this time, the silver wolf Elka on the side spoke. He said he would also like to taste the red locusts. Yes, the lizardmen on the 67th floor of the Black Tower. What is the daily meal? That's the invaders who have been piled up into a hill. The body of a red locust. But if you don't deal with them in time, locusts of the same kind, it reproduces by eating its dead companions. For this, the members of the Silver Wolf tribe are responsible for dealing with it. Endless locust carcasses, transporting them all as food to the 99th floor of the Black Tower. It will even give 85 floors where food is in short supply due to drought. Increase supplies. In the Silver Wolf tribe on the 99th floor, Elka is responsible for transporting the green onions. This could be another huge business chain. Immediately, Park Sejun scolded Theo. You're too slow to advance in turn, isn't it? Hearing Theo's aggrieved expression. Can't I go back to my role as a sales representative? You guessed that right. This is Theo's punishment for accidentally stealing the sun's sweet potato to sell. Park Sejun, who learned about this, was very angry at first. But seeing Theo's ears drooping, he apologized. And the sun's sweet potato is still sold to a human who he trusts. Ding dong paper. Only then did Park Sejun extinguish most of the anger in his heart. Hearing this, Theo immediately changed his expression. He said triumphantly, I did it after a lot of thought. After all, it can also promote the boss Park Sejun and humans. JD value of friendly relations. Listen to Park Sejun tell Theo coldly. The talk to fan is added by 30 minutes. Seeing this, Theo didn't dare to continue to be proud. He could only keep crying and begging his boss Park Sejun to show mercy. But the reply was only a more brutal answer. Seeing this, Theo threw away the green onion fan and said to let the boss hand over his back to him for massage. And Park Sejun, who enjoys the sweetness of the boss, I still want to continue to fight Theo. However, the system's notification interrupted his thoughts. It looks like it's because of the excessive number of locusts. As a result, the blade of the green onion is almost irresistible. Congratulations. Successfully upgraded. Start a career mission. Harvest 1,000 crops. Take it up one level. And get 50 tower coins. After reading the system notification, Park Sejun jumped up excitedly. Unexpectedly, Satoshi Blade has given him experience points to level up so quickly. And this professional task is not a very difficult thing to do. Constant upgrades. There will be more rewards to improve their own magic. However, Theo on the side did not do it. He was obviously massaging his boss Park Sejun just now. Suddenly, he was thrown to the ground. What's going on, kid? In his opinion, there are also a lot of problems with the face of the boss, Park Sejun. It must be pressed harder. But how could this strength be so unpleasant? The picture comes to the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Other dot. I saw a fallen dryad fall to the ground, constantly trembling. Next, a huge bear's foot sent him directly to the valley of the heavens. It turned out to be a flame bear. Find that your territory has been invaded by this group of fallen dryads. His attitude towards intruders has always been zero tolerance. Since the last blue moon phenomenon, there has always been a constant invasion of his territory. It's incredible. And it seems that the next blue moon phenomenon should not be far away. Immediately, the flame bear grabbed the body of a fallen dryad. Then he continued his walk in the direction of the dungeon. I don't know if Sejun will like to eat the dryad. Park Sejun and Theo opened the door inadvertently. Actually saw through the long-hidden secret of the sickle rabbit. This incident is a warning to everyone. Always knock before opening the door. Aaron, the administrator of the Black Tower, looks like he's just been through a battle. He ate all the food that Park Sejun had left him in one go. Drink another glass of 82-year-old magic tomato honey juice. Immediately afterwards, Aaron burped deeply. Sure enough, eating is the best way to release stress. To deal with the red locust thing, he hadn't eaten properly in days. After eating the perfect meal, Aaron didn't forget to ask Park Sejun for a dessert of dried sweet potatoes after dinner. But the system reminders that followed had to make Park Sejun stop, because his blade and green onions had been destroyed by locust monsters one after another. Hearing this, Aaron reported to Park Sejun. Battle situation on the 67th floor. So far, 1 million red locusts have been eradicated. But there are still 6 billion locusts left. Their ability to reproduce at high speed completely offset the amount we blocked. Park Sejun was not annoyed by this. He's got a lot of experience for killing locusts. If it ends so soon, it's a shame. Aaron then opened a list in the crystal ball. This is a list of contributions to the 67th floor against locusts. Naturally, it was the Paleolobacterium that wiped out 300,000 locusts. The second is the mage hamster who killed 120,000 locusts. Iona. It seems that the blade of green onions has been given to the 67th floor. The original battle helped a lot. Aaron had already figured it out. Wait until the red locust invasion event is over perfectly. He will definitely give rich rewards one by one according to the contribution list. Park Sejun was shocked. Unexpectedly, Administrator Aaron also has a clear list of contributions, but Aaron didn't seem willing to reveal it in advance. The reward for the list was given to Park Sejun. But that's good news, isn't it? Conversations. Park Sejun harvested a C-grade carrot. Agile carrots break down 30 grams of body fat when ingested, and can 0.5 agility and vision in 10 minutes. Delicious carrots. It's finally harvest time. The rabbits danced happily. That's when it happened. Theo, a wandering merchant, came over sleepy-eyed. He told Park Sejun he was ready to go down to work again. Theo and Elka have agreed to meet on the 88th floor of the Black Tower. Immediately after taking the members of the Silver Wolf tribe past the 67th floor. Then go down to the 38th floor with Elka. Hearing this, Park Sejun stared at Theo with a wicked smile, and asked in a weird way. Theo didn't sneak into other farming this time? Hearing this, Theo's angry fur exploded. Didn't he just accidentally make a mistake? Why treat him like a thief? Suddenly, a gray rabbit approached. Interrupted the conversation between master and servant. Architect Gray Rabbit told Park Sejun the house he built outside the dungeon has been completed. Soon Park Sejun took the giant bear to the new house. I don't know where the gray rabbits came from. Even the appearance of the kitchen was very surprising. They actually did what Park Sejun asked. The house was built. This is the resistance effect that Park Sejun wants. Even if it just lies on the ground, you can also feel the warmth coming from the floor. But Park Sejun was very puzzled by this. He remembered that he didn't seem to have told him the principle of ground resistance. He buzzed. Hear the words. Gray Rabbit, the builder, told Park Sejun. There is a race of wandering merchants. Just live in this type of house. Because of the relationship between procurement of materials, they had a lot of dealings. After listening to Park Sejun, he understood. It turned out to be in the Black Tower. There are also many indigenous people whose lives are very similar to those of human society. Suddenly, Park Sejun heard the exclamation of the giant bear. Cub asks Baba what the structure is. Seeing this, Park Sejun and the others opened the small door with curiosity. That's where the opening scene begins. Side Bunny doesn't know when it started. Got along with one of the gray rabbits. I saw that the sickle rabbit was so frightened that his mind was completely lost. He told Park Sejun angrily. Next time you knock on the door. Park Sejun led everyone to 20 meters of the house before stopping. I didn't expect that group of rabbits to dare to giants in his house. The bear saw Baba's expression. I thought he was angry. Unexpectedly, a huge figure was approaching them. It turned out to be a giant. The bear's mother is back. But I came back a little late this time. And Park Sejun found out. The flame bear has recently increased the number and duration of its patrols. Is there something unexpected nearby? Hearing this, the flame bear put down the fallen dryad in his hand. This scared Park Sejun and the others. What about this very old-looking tree? It turned out that Mama Bear thought that the world bacteria might be able to be used. Brought back. After small talk, Theo ran over. I want Mother Bear to give her a ride. Suddenly, Theo, who doesn't have a mount, is really not used to it. Naturally, Mama Bear would not refuse Theo's offer. After all, he had to keep patrolling. Wait for the bear and Theo to leave. Builder Gray Rabbit. He couldn't wait to jump on the fallen dryad. This is perhaps the top material for furniture. Then the Gray Rabbit took out his natal axe. Prepare to trim the shape of the tree. Park Sejun is worried that he doesn't have the materials to make a bed. If you really want to fall asleep, someone will send a pillow. However, things didn't go very well. I saw Rattan attack. Hit the Gray Rabbit by surprise. The builder Gray Rabbit was caught by the Rattan in an instant. It turns out that this fallen dryad has been playing dead all along. Park Sejun, who saw this scene, was also frightened and froze in place. See the gray rabbit in danger. He had to draw his sword and prepare for battle. But the giant bear moves faster. A breath intermittent. The bear looked at his size. Attacked the dryad. Giant bear's attack accurately hits the rattan that grabbed the gray rabbit. Just listen to the thump. The gray rabbit slammed into the ground. But the fallen dryad reacts faster. In the next second, countless rattans tightly wrapped around the giant bear. But he seems to underestimate the bear that eats everything. Then the bear snapped the rattan that was wrapping around him. But the fallen dryad's onslaught was swift. And the giant bear, who is a power type, immediately fell into the disadvantage. Park Sejun, who saw this scene, was very entangled. Of course he knew. As a farmer, his actual combat ability is almost zero. And it's still facing the top monster on the 99th floor of the Black Tower. That's what happened. Administrator Aaron sends a message to Park Sejun. Park Sejun hurriedly asked him for help. What to do with this monster? Irene, the ignorant administrator, hurriedly picked up a notebook, kept flipping up. It seems that this is the first time he has been asked this question. As long as you have control of the Black Tower, or destroy the fruit in his body. Meanwhile, the giant bear has been completely controlled by the fallen dryad. Seeing this, Park Sejun hurriedly let the giant bear, hurry up and make your body smaller. Hearing this, the bear obediently did so, instantly lifted the hard control of the corset. Just as the dryad was about to catch the cub again, I saw the figure of a man rushing over. The next second, Park Sejun put a dagger in his hand, steadily stabbed into the dryad's body. However, this seemingly inconspicuous attack seems to have worked. After being stabbed, the dryad completely stopped his attack. Seeing this, Park Sejun pulled the dagger out of the monster's body with all his might, and the stems that came out with the dagger, and one like a tomato. The fruit is plucked. Fall the fruit. The dryad seemed to be hollowed out, and fell weakly. Congratulations, killed a fallen dryad. Successfully earned 50 XP. However, the dryad's crisis has just ended. Park Sejun heard the anxious call of the giant bear. Park Sejun, who turned around, saw a scene that made his scalp tingle. Countless fallen dryads were watching them. According to the system's reminders, only then did Park Sejun learn the identity of these monsters. It's a bunch of depraved little walkers. Several scouts. Then Park Sejun, who temporarily lost the protection of the flame giant bear. Will they be safe and sound this time? Let's make a move. It was a well-planned land grab. In the dungeon, Park Sejun's family encountered hundreds of dryad scouts. However, the giant bear immediately started the second gear rampage form. Then he rushed straight towards the enemy, and Park Sejun hurriedly let the gray rabbits return to the dungeon behind them. Moved rescuers. I saw the giant bear leap slightly, jumped to an altitude of 100 meters. As the shadow of the ground grows larger, the giant bear blew up dozens of dryad scouts. It can be seen that the giant who has entered the second gear state. How terrifying the bear's force value is. A straight right hand smashes a small dryad. Another left hook sent one flying. Park Sejun on the other side was not to be outdone. I saw the knife rise and fall. A small dryad lost its breath. But as more and more enemies converged, Sejun also became curious about their origins. Where the hell did these monsters come from? Meanwhile, reinforcement Side Bunny and Warrior Black Rabbit also rushed over. See this. The Warrior Black Rabbit summoned a large pendulum without ink, ready to fight. I saw an extremely fast figure shuttling between the dryad monsters. Leave a faint afterimage. Unexpectedly, the speed of the Warrior Black Rabbit has increased a lot. Even Sejun couldn't help but express his appreciation for the Warrior Black Rabbit. Hearing this, the Warrior Black Rabbit naughtily gestured to the camera. Suddenly, a dryad took advantage of the Warrior Black Rabbit to play handsome. I want to be the sixth child. But in the next second, his body was slashed by a sharp blade. It's like chopping melons and vegetables. It was chopped into countless small pieces. It wasn't a phage that saved the Warrior Black Rabbit. It's the Sickle Bunny who is usually in charge of chopping vegetables. Immediately, Side Bunny also told the Black Rabbit brothers not to be distracted on the battlefield. This is a very dangerous thing. This time it's a battle to defend the dungeon. Every member of the team was dispatched. They used what they had learned all their lives to defend their homeland. Even nature's porters. Carnivorous bees are no exception. With the efforts of all the critters in the dungeon, the number of dryad scouts is being wiped out at a breakneck rate. Suddenly, the Warrior Black Rabbit let out an exclamation. He asked Park Sejun to take a quick look. Behind him, I heard a loud bang. Park Sejun. They saw an even more alarming scene. Countless giant dryad monsters appeared in front of him. They just look like they're going to be tough to deal with. According to the system, this is a large scout and a fallen dryad. At this time, where is Park Sejun still in the mood to fight? His instincts told him, you have to start running for your life right away. Otherwise, they would have lost their lives here. Suddenly, the giant bear shouted Baba, while rushing towards Sejun's side. The giant bear single-handedly fended off the giant dryad's pursuit. At this point, the bear's rage has reached its peak. He wouldn't allow anyone to bully him right under his nose. Baba's, Park Sejun knows. He and the rabbits couldn't resist the attack of the giant monsters. The Minoru's warriors were too far away. Otherwise, they may still have hope of winning this battle. Suddenly, a giant dryad appears behind Sejun. I want to be the sixth child. By the time Sejun reacted, it was too late. Is this the end of the story in the Black Tower? Of course, this is not possible. A majestic figure. With just one axe, Park Sejun was saved. Sejun, who lived for the rest of his life after the catastrophe, stared blankly at the life-saving benefactor in front of him. The king of cattle and horses. How did you end up here? And that's not all. The king of cows and horses also brought Nyo Air and Nyo Meili and other younger brothers to help. Suddenly, there was a loud bang not far away. It turned out to be the bear's mother. The flame bear is back. Only then did he realize that his territory had been invaded by so many dryads. This made him have a temper tantrum. Where could he bear it? Seeing this, Park Sejun was relieved. With the two lords here, it's completely fine. But what makes Sejun even more curious? King of cattle and horses, how the hell did they know that this place was invaded? As soon as the word fell. Administrator Aaron has a message. He told Sejun. He informed him of this. Through God's perspective. From afar, he saw the dryads walking towards the dungeon. Then he told the urgent news. The flame bear and the king of cattle and horses. I'm not telling Sejun. You just have to trust me. Hearing this, Park Sejun could not hide the excitement in his heart. This time, I'm really lucky to have the help of the administrator Aaron. Immediately after that, Sejun picked himself up again. He told his fighting partners, just take care of our food. Immediately after the field is over, a large meal is made for them to eat. Hear about the king of cattle and horses and the flames. The bear's eyes seemed to become wiser. The giant bear and the warrior black rabbit couldn't hide their inner joy. With the Phage's attack command issued, all the forces in the dungeon rushed forward. The screen turns. Aimed to the 67th floor of the Black Tower. The original forest scene has also become barren. The ground was littered with the corpses of countless red locusts. It turned out to be the silver wolf Elcadizio. Arrived at the battlefield on the 67th floor. Theo asked Elka stupidly, wasn't it originally a lush forest? Listen to Kam muttered. As long as it's where the locust swarm passes, it will become a lack of grass. But then Theo didn't know what the silver wolves were doing. He remembered that the silver wolves' mission was only to transport the carcasses of the red locusts. Hearing this, Elka said, he also received a request from the lizard folk group. Let them help restore the land. It's just that all of them are on the battlefield against the red locusts. The army is simply not enough to be distributed. That's how you see it. Theo asked Urka weakly. Is there any reward for doing this? Followed by, Elka said, it's just a gesture. It did pay off. Hearing the words for the next second, Theo blew up. As a businessman who was not profitable, he couldn't figure it out. Elka, how could they be so stupid as these silver wolves? Theo then turned and left. He couldn't stand his good friend. Elka suffered such a big loss. Theo, he's going to help Arka collect his debts. The scene takes place in the rest area where the lizardmen are stationed. A lizardman guard stared at the person in front of him in a daze. Then he decisively told the very impolite cat, not everyone can enter this place. Theo grew angrier. He's not a man without status. Hurry up and get that hamster out and pick me up. The guards were even more speechless. Io. It is impossible for an adult to casually receive people who have nothing to do with him. Hear this. Theo slammed his chest. Dare to say that he has nothing to do with Iona. Iona and I are very close. As soon as the word fell, the audience suddenly fell silent. Everyone present was reminiscing about what Theo had just said. At this time, Elka wanted to die. What the hell is this crazy cat babbling about?